All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about just the current NFT landscape, a little bit of crypto landscape. We're going to be talking about SWE. SWE is going to be main talking point, I'm sure, today, because that is, I guarantee you, where a ton of liquidity is going. There will be the gold rush, and we see it. We literally have so much data between Canto, Near, Aptos, and this will be no different. The one thing I will say about SWE, and I've been saying this for a while, I actually think SWE has much more longevity than those other chains. We'll be talking about that today as well. So we'll be talking about a couple of projects I have my eyes on. I know they're well known. You can see them in the thumbnail. There are 3 well-known projects. There's some other ones as well. So really, this is just a discussion of how the SWE market cycle is going to work, and then my prediction for what's going to happen to SOL in the near term, and then what happens once everybody's done taking liquidity from that ecosystem. But joining with me today is my wonderful co-host, as always, Dor. How we doing, Dor?
Yo, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday. We back for another one, man. It's been pretty crazy, dog. Market's been popping off. Mad Lads, Magic Eden stuff, now SWE stuff. I'm ready to get into it, man.
Yeah. Market always provides. We'll definitely get into some data in a second. But a surprise guest. We didn't think he was going to make it today. He's still sick. So if you hear him go silent, like the dude's just chugging along. So
but he's here, though.
He's here. Joe, how we doing, bro?
Hanging on by a thread.
That's good. I'm glad to see you're alive, and yeah, that's good, bro. I'm just glad you're here. How's everything going, man?
You know, it's been better on the physical front, but mentally I'm good. Everything's going well. Nothing to complain about. Just had a little hiccup with with an unfortunate event. You got to watch
Right.
out for that airplane food. You got to watch out for that airline food, man. I know Fast Eddie just got sick. It's no joke out here, man. Be careful eating at terminals.
Mhm.
Yo, you ain't never lied, dog. That's why it's like on my flight back to Mexico, they're like, "Oh, do you want some meat?" Nah, dog. Just give me some French toast. You can't mess up French toast, dog. Like,
I
come
mean,
on.
you could because you got some egg in there, bro. They could not
That's
cook
true,
it too
dog.
hard, but raw eggs usually pretty good for you. Anyways, boys, let's talk about the market. Let's jump right into it. We are staring down sub $100,000 or 100,000 Solana volume. I expect this to trend downward over the next couple of weeks. Continue to trend downward. I would not be surprised at all if we saw 30 to 50K Solana volume. And that's going to be an issue for a lot of these projects. So looking over the numbers, we have Magic Eden at 44%. They've reclaimed their throne for now. Tensor's right behind them at 40%. Hades Swap, 12,500 Solana volume. Believe it or not. Wow. It's back in there. Elixir, okay, clicking back up. We're at 1.11K. So about, 1% of volume right over there. It was up from 0.5%. So they are getting a little bit more volume. Again, I do think that Elixir is a player that people are underestimating, and I think there's some upside there. They're on my radar big time. Everything else kind of in the mud, whatever. Basically, it is Magic Eden versus Tensor right now. We've been talking about this for a while before the episode got cut off immediately right after some technical difficulties on Thursday. But nonetheless,
Magic Eden was coming after us, dog. That's what it was, man.
Yeah, they sent a storm over to my house, man, because dude, that was a nasty storm here. There was tornadoes and everything like that. I've never seen wind and hail like that in my life. So it was crazy. But I digress. How we feel about the market? Let's go to Joe real quick, and then we'll go over to Door.
Yeah, man. So the market, is the market. It's reacting like expected. I am in a pretty sizable spot position on Sol on the weekly chart here. It's forming a 4-point pennant. And I like this 60 to 70% breakout rate with these. So for me, it's much like multiplying my Sol where I can. I do have some staked in a validator earning like 6 to 7%. And then my other plays have been, in very carefully selected Solana plays between SPLs and like one or two NFT projects that I think might be a magnet liquidity. I know depreciating assets happen when a new hype network comes out, like we've seen any other time. But every other time we do see this, we see liquidity magnets. There's a few projects where fearful liquidity will roll into. And I like betting some chips on those, right? If I don't make it, I cut my losses into an AMM for whatever 4 to 5 Sol loss, and I go on my way. But it's worked out pretty well for me before. So I think there's a few, cunning plays to be made right now on Sol, even though the sentiment isn't great, and we do have a liquidity event coming on another external chain. But there's always plays to be made when people are fearful or not talking about something. So that's where I'm at the moment. Mostly spot though.
Yeah. Yeah, as I think most people should be. But I agree. There are some plays. We'll definitely talk about them. Some that I think will last or at least maintain through the SWE liquidity cycle. But we'll get into those. Door, how do you feel about the market right now?
Man, I'm feeling overall good about the market. I mean, we've just been through a couple months of like pretty hype cycle, man, just absolutely tearing in NFTs. So right now, I'm just as we saw like volumes around 100K. I think it's going to go down from here, especially with SWE coming up. People are going to be struggling to take profits once SWE FOMO catches on the timeline. We saw this happen with, as you said, Near, Kanto, Aptos. Isn't that going to be any different this time? We've already started the hype cycle with FUDdies, and we'll get into them later. But yeah, man, right now, I'm just taking profits on most of my positions and just trying to hold spot Sol just in case with SWE doing its thing, we'll see liquidity go over there. And if Sol rips to like what 25, 30, we're going to see full pullbacks in all of these NFTs floors. And I'm just trying to have as much liquid Sol as possible to capitalize on a potential pullback, or I should say inevitable. Like, I don't know if anything's going to go up, but I can almost guarantee you prices will go down. So I'm just trying to chill. And then also I got a lot of stuff coming up with Cyber Samurai, and I'm just trying to reorient my focuses, not to be in a lot of positions, so I can really focus a lot of time for what we have coming. And you guys will find out soon enough.
Yeah, and I'm excited too. I mean, I know we jumped on a call earlier today, talking about some of it, and it's good. I do think, here's what I think is going to happen. Month of May is, everybody who's trying to make a self-fulfilling prophecy of sell in May and walk away. I don't think that's the case. It's going to be sell in Sol and go to SWE. And that's literally what everybody's going to be doing for at least 2 weeks. And mainnet for SWE unlocks tomorrow. So this is when everything's it's gonna start going from there. So make sure you're ready. Over the next 2 weeks minimum, I can guarantee you that all the talk will be over on SWE for NFTs. Probably even the token too. And I actually do think there's value on the token. We've seen this play before. It is going to be a low float type of play where I think there's like 5% that's going to be on the market from the get-go. It's not going to be much. So you're going to see these VC-backed low float coins come on the market. We saw it with Aptos. We saw it with not so much Kanto. I think Near was another one too. Yeah. But we see it with Solana too. I mean, everybody talks about us being a VC chain. We were a VC chain. A lot of the VCs have exited. That's why we were down bad, worse than other. So, I do think SWE will find its own little niche. I do think there's some value there. I think it'll perform, the token itself will perform like Aptos did, where a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's just going to absolutely shit itself. No, I actually think the token will have some really fun trading patterns to it and a lot of liquidity. So I'm excited for that. I'm not excited for Solana NFTs for the most part. I do think there are some fun ones. I do think there are ones that will hold their value and that will continue to go. I think a lot of these that sustain themselves off the attention economy or just being in the limelight are going to be in trouble. And we see it. We can already see mint fatigue. And I'll tell you this one thing right now is Raposa, right? This is actually like a cool brand. I like the art. I love the people behind it. Seb's on there, Dup's on there, Dirty Sock. If you guys know who Sock is, it's one of the co-founders over there. They actually have a legitimate brand. They owned basically the supply chain itself. They have a lease on a roastery out in Michigan, I think. I might be messed up on that one, but they're a legit company, and their volume is not good. Like it's 4.6 thousand over on the actual beans, which is the unrevealed Raposas. And then cups are sitting at 3,174. It's actually better than I thought if you combine them together, but still the price action's not been great on them. And I think it is just mint fatigue. I think everybody is just tired of minting, at least over in Solana. It feels like our liquidity is extended. The plays that people are in are the plays they're going to be in, or they have already exited so they can prepare for SWE. And SWE is going to be the next rotation of liquidity. I think that's where everybody's going. I think that's everybody's game plan. Or they're trading shit coins. We're already seeing Pepe, do Pepe things. I actually think Pepe will be like another Dogecoin. But I'm scared. I'm not touching it with a 10.
I'm not touching that either, dog. I didn't get in early enough. I'm not touching meme coins after it's pumped 100x already. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
It's funny Manny's in the audience right now because BRC20 tokens I actually think will be a much longer cycle. I think there's one, it's the richest liquidity in crypto right there. So trading shit coins on Bitcoin sounds like it's pretty promising right now. Yep. I would be more scared if I was Ordinals trying to compete against BRC20 tokens. So yes. I do think BRC20 tokens, like if I'm looking for plays, it's probably going to be over there and it's going to be on SWE, right? I think those are the two markets I would be in. There are a couple projects we can talk about that I think will sustain themselves. One, we did have a question in the audience from RE Broker, who is a longtime listener. We appreciate you. Was talking about night market. Look, we said it on past episodes. Night market's value prop sounded much better when Tensor didn't absolutely blow up. I don't think there's enough liquidity in this ecosystem for night market right now. I don't think there's any liquidity that is going to, and they don't incentivize it enough. There's referral links. That's cool. But if you don't have a competitive advantage like Tensor, where you have 1% marketplace fees instead of 1.5 to 2%, depending on your rewards over on Magic Eden, you don't have a lightning quick response rate like Tensor does. You don't have a nice chart in there. It's already aggregated by a bunch of different aggregators like Soul Sniper and everything now. I just don't see legitimacy to night market. So they better come out with another product soon, because as soon as those unlocks happen for my NFTs, I don't care if it's a soul. I'm trying to recoup as much cost as possible right now.
Dude, I'm right there with you, man. Nothing against like the team. Their team is nice guys. It's just, they didn't deliver quick enough. And I invested in, I got 12 pre-sales, so that was a sizable amount of sold for me. Same. So guess what, man? It's just chalk it up to a loss, keeping it moving. We talked to some people in NYC, and they're like, "Oh, we're trying to make this, more, I guess newer people, and that is like intense and Tensor." But my thing, and I asked them, I'm like, "Yo, but only people left in this market are like shark traders." I'm like, "Why are you making a platform that?" It's not even catering to the audience that's around right now. It's like the only 5,000 of us are here, and all of 5,000 of us are sharks. So, like, I just don't know what you guys are doing. Don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong about them, and I'm not flooding their project. It's just concerns that I have, and as a pre-sale holder, hell, I hope it does good. It's just hard for me to see them being able to take market share back from Tensor and even being able to compete with Magic Eden or Elixir at this point. It's just, I'm pretty bearish on it. At the time, it was pretty good, but they took a little bit longer, and then Tensor ate their lunch as well. So, hey, prove me wrong, guys. I'd be more than happy.
To put it in perspective for you, Pepe, the coin, over the past 24 hours has done $368 million in volume. Solana NFTs have done 2.14 million. They have done literally like almost a what? That is 180x on our volume. This either means a couple of things, right? We are so early, or we are mentally ill. That is just flat out the case right now. I do think there are some other projects that are on the market right now that are worth picking up, or at least accumulating lower. DCAing in. Obviously, I'm going to shield Heist. I know we've had a brutal run-in of 4 to 5 days by the FUD. Nana has gone capitulating. And again, that is mainly a function of increased supply on the market because of the exploit. We did buy a bunch back, like $100,000 worth. It wasn't enough, and they did it. There's high slippage on it when we did it. So there's still more out in the ether right now, and we don't have enough sinks. Sinks are coming. If you guys are in Heist, I promise you, and I will give a full State of the Union tomorrow on Heistcast. If you guys don't know, that is our community space. That is Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sinks are coming. We thought we had more time. Exploit obviously completely shifted momentum, and that, then all of a sudden everybody was like just fine and happy with where the game was. Then all of a sudden they're like, yo, when's the next development coming out? When's this? What's going to save our floor price? And, that's just the nature of Solana NFTs, right? So that being said, I do think Heist right now feels really good to me. It still is going to be a fun game. There are more developments coming out over the next week or two. It is coming. So just be prepared for that. There are some other ones as well. I do think any dip on Mad Lads, I am accumulating.
Yeah, dog.
I think this is up there with Clanosaurus for me. And this is so early to tell, right? I do think we'll see like that Clanosaurus drop. Salami Mommy keeps getting meme for saying 42. And dude,
oh my gosh,
funny.
Man. It's like, get up off my boy, dog. Like, I swear, man, people like his takes are good pretty much all the time. And because he called something a little early, it's like, oh, it pumped to 90. Dude, you're still buying at 75 to 80. What, do you think it's going to hit a 2 to 3x here? So his analysis was a risk-based analysis saying, hey, are you really willing to risk 70 SOL for it to go up maybe 20% instead of the more likelihood, which I still think is going to pull back. Every NFT always pulls back. There's only OK Bears is the only one that had went absolutely parabolic from what I remember, man. That thing ran up from like 18 to 240. One of the only NFTs. 90% of the time, you have your run up, and then it pulls back 50%, 60%. Everybody's like, this thing's going to go to 300-400 SOL from this point. Dog, it minted 2 days ago. That it literally does not happen like that. Just wait till everybody's tearing each other apart on the timeline, and then you'll see how low that floor price falls. We saw D-Gods pull back 50 to 60% multiple times on its run up to 1,000 SOL. So just because it pulls back, 50 to 60% pullbacks are normal in NFTs. We saw Klano join the first time run up to 60, then pull back to 20. So it's like, yo, why is Mad Lads going to be the exception? Everybody was talking about Critters Cult. That's going to run to the moon. Where's that sitting at now? So I just think it needs to give it a little time. It's easy to flame a public figure when they might not call something exactly at the right time, but 99% of the time he's right. So yeah, sorry.
You're fine. I don't think he cares at all, literally 0%, because the people that are getting emotional and responding to him, saying like, "Oh, you were wrong," or like, "Oh, wow, terrible call. Oh, you're flooding my bags." Those are the ones that are always going to get wrecked in the market, and I know Salami Mommy isn't, and it's going to be a lot of other people. So, look, I will let them do that. I don't waste brain space on that. I will say though that it did have a nice pullback from 95-ish all the way down.
Yeah. So I posted about this a little bit earlier, Dor, and I do feel you, but I think this is what we had though, right? We had a 39% pullback from 95 SOL roughly to about 58 SOL, right? 58 SOL was accumulated very quickly. And if you look now, it's constant volumes coming in, and we're going to break 77 here. AMM pools are getting pushed back. So that's what I'm saying. Some projects just seem to have that magnet of fearful liquidity. Mad Lads may be one of them, but they may not be as well. I'm biased. I entered in the 60s, right? Because I played that bet. It was making a symmetrical triangle. So with what you said is true, but I think it might have played out quicker than most have thought, right? When we all think it's going to do one thing, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing with Mad Lads, and obviously I love Mommy, so this is just strictly chart shit. But so that's what I'm thinking is what you call Endor might have happened.
No, dude, and Joe, that could be the case, but I think too many people in this market risk liquidity that they can't afford to lose, and then get aggravated when somebody says something opposite of number go up. So even if it happened, you know what? I missed this train. I'm always tell people I'm fine with buying higher than buying too early, in my opinion. Like, I would rather buy around 120, knowing the price is still stable.
Yeah, have it prove itself. Yeah, absolutely.
So
just like you did with SMB, like you waited to like them 140s, they proved themselves there, and then you went hard. And that's why I respect your, me. I'm more of a quick. I'm looking for that magnet of liquidity, and you understand the macro. So it's great to hear both sides of that, brother.
Yeah, dude, I respect your trading style 100%, dog. And once again, it's like I love our different perspectives because I don't think either of us are wrong. We just have our own edges, and we're comfortable in that. So,
yep, facts, Dor.
Yeah, I would okay, Heist, Mad Lads for sure. I'm a little concerned for Oogie, but not really because I still don't know how they held up so well so far. So.
That D-God liquidity, dog. You can't stop it, man.
Yeah, there's powerful holders over there. So the one thing I'll say about Oogie, and it's one thing that, we have in Heist, but it's always going to be a byproduct of that people just want, more NFTs to play more times in Heist. So it's a little bit different, but they are a branding project and their unique holder count is like 22%, of their total supply. So like 2,200 unique holders versus a 10K supply, really for branding and IP projects that they are building some tech out. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt, but still there's no real benefit of holding more. That always concerns me. We see this a lot when this is where floors can be very, very volatile in the sense of as soon as you see a little bit of downward movement, you could just see a flood of it. So we know that for sure over with Heist. Anyways, Heist, Mad Lads, Blocksmith, which we talked about. I still think Blocksmith, any pullback I can get, I think it's already close to its lows. And I think it's range
Forge as well.
Yeah.
Total value locked has been up 25% in the past 2 days volume. So you could tell that people are starting to slowly position themselves for that next mint cycle that'll eventually happen. And then, people will rush towards it. Whether it'll probably be Sandbar and Migos, I would think. So yeah, I think Smith's is, I'm biased as well because I'm in this play, but like Bison got in before me and I just see them. It's a less than 4% listed, less than 5,000 supply, 87% is staked.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yep. It's the numbers add up, right? They just make sense. So Blocksmith, I think, is another one. There's a couple of other ones I'm interested in as well. Wolf Capital, I just, I'm a J-Shep stan. I think they have their lending aggregator coming out. We saw previews of it. It looks sick. And I think right now there's other plays that I'm interested in. But I think those are really the ones that I want to go. Lily too, any pullback on Lily, I'm fine accumulating. I still think in a bull run, Lily just goes parabolic. Lily just feels like one of those projects that, man, people would gravitate towards Bungeal, towards that ecosystem. I think it is. That's one I'm happy to accumulate when it goes back to like 7 or something like that, and just hold on to those. Right. So that's my watch list. Guys, do you have anything on your watch list before we jump into SWE and talk about like what's going to happen over there?
My watch list right now, just once again, I'm really focusing on what's coming for Cyber Samurai. So I'm like heads down on that. But if anything, just the heist, man. I just love it, man. It's so much fun. Nothing like, you guys are awesome. B, you've been leading up marketing with that. It's like the game's fun. After a couple more sync, I still believe in Nana. Like all my Nana I've been accumulating with my chimps haven't been selling it. I don't see a point to, man. Just give it some time. Let it cook.
Yeah. I mean, we can now that we have data and everything, we know what we need to do to sync it. So, in the sense of like over the next week or two, you got to give us time to. It's development cycles and stuff, all that good. Well, we're all on the same page now. They will be coming. But Absolutely. Joe, what's on your radar as far as what you're looking at? Maybe in like during the SWE liquidity cycle or anything that you're looking at over the next month?
Yeah, I'm definitely. My eyes are on Dust on Sol at the moment. I wouldn't buy right this moment because it's at a very pivotal resistance, and you could probably get it at $1.60 if it rejects here. So wait, but yeah. So you free lunch capital. Anytime his wallet goes live, it always happens to be before an announcement for the DGODS team, right? And he accumulates at those times. I've seen it happen 3 different times in this cycle already that I've been a DGOD holder over almost a year and a half. He started going live around $1.40 and is going hard into the $1.90s, right? So my thing is Dust on Sol. If you want some exposure to that initial liquidity ramp up, you see DGODS on ETH already, 8.5 Sol. I mean 8.5 ETH, and they're kind of moving right now with bids. If you want a little bit of exposure for that, it could be front running that with Dust, right? Because they come out with a mechanism season announcement that goes, you need X amount of Dust for this part of this season mechanic. It flies, right? And you sell it at $3.30 and you walk away, like, stuff like that. So that's a possibility. I want it by now, like I said, and just keep your eyes out, right? I'm just tracking money right now, and that's just me being transparent. So that would be my sneaky little play on Sol, possibly.
Yep, I think there's clear catalyst. We always talk about that, right? If there's clear catalyst coming, pretty easy trade, at least to get, 10-20% minimum. So I'm totally with you. Once they announce that, and we're starting to see those big sales too on DGODS again. Like I started seeing the sales bot pop up a lot more on my timeline. That always means something's coming, right, Joe? Like DGODS is an ecosystem that has inside information, like they always do.
Let's be honest. The biggest commodity traders in the world get locked up for you. You don't think it's happening on where it's legal, literally, like, because there's no laws for it. So yeah, like you have to follow money. That's what you talk about. Oh, what do you mean follow the money, follow the whales? It's like this: when no one's talking about DGODS, it's been stagnant. All of a sudden, people are paying $80,000 to $120,000 for these random JPEGs of DGODS, and Dust is spiking because there's $1 million volume thrown at it in a couple of days. Those are what you're talking about. Follow the whales, right? Your eyes start to magnetize there, just like Mad Lads did around 30 to 40 Sol when it had the initial pullback. I even faded it, right? But at the end of the day, you can't fade volume. Like no matter what, how biased you are, volume is volume, and that's what most traders I know that make actual money off this and really trade for a living trade off volume predominantly. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it for sure.
I 100% agree. I'm so mad at myself. Like, okay, look, I'm going to be completely like vulnerable here, guys. One of the biggest drawbacks of being, so focused on the heist, I know Dor feels it too with Cyber Samurai and stuff, is that we're so focused on our project. Like Mad Lads was clear as day. You see all that volume come through. It's like, bro, any pullback, you just keep buying and buying. Luckily I made like 200 Sol off them, so I'm not upset about it. But like that was unprecedented. But we have not seen that since OK Bears. Lily had a nice run up, but it was just like an $8 Sol market versus, now where we've kind of stabilized in this 20s range Sol market. That volume was nuts. Like, it was disgusting. Which I'm happy for. Honestly, I do think Armani will deliver something fun, and I like how they kind of set, like, everybody knows the bar is high for them because of the team, but they set the bar low with all this Rick rolling inside the wallet and all that good stuff. I think it's fun. So, anyways, we're finished up here. Before we get into SWE, let's talk a little bit about our NFT showdown results.
Oh, snap. I forgot about that.
Yeah. We all suck. Not really. They all just didn't really move. Like, Claymakers, I called it 4.21. They're like 4.14 last time I checked. Croissants, 35. They're like 34 point something.
That's fine.
Blocksmith, 51.5. Blocksmith is actually up. So Joe, I think, won.
What?
Yeah.
Joe, let's go, Joe.
Joe won.
First dub, baby. Talk that talk, baby. Talk that macro talk to me, baby.
It's not his first win. The first time he won, I think he was actually gone, I'm pretty sure. And I was going to die laughing because I was like, man, he's about to be gone for this episode too. He's not going to get to celebrate his win. But anyways, I think he won because JS called Foxes at 54.4. They are 53.5. Really? Like, if you weren't trading Heist, Mad Lads, Oogie, and a couple of other things here and there, really hasn't been like a great a scalping and swing trading environment outside of Mad Lads. Like, Mad Lads was a big one.
Yeah.
Heist was fun to trade. Now, I wasn't really trading it because I'm on the team and stuff.
Yeah.
But oh man, I was just sitting there like, oh, this would be so much fun to trade.
Yeah, the swings are wild.
There
was wild swings there.
Not gonna be the last time either. So I definitely think
no, absolutely not.
The fun thing, I mean,
airdrops coming soon. That delisting event is going to be wild. That price action will be fun too.
Yeah, so. I think it will. And the snapshot's coming soon. So you guys getting alpha, just play the game.
Ooh,
I promise,
baby.
I promise you. If you're playing the game right now, if you can see past, what's for dinner tonight, you're gonna be fine. Like, I promise you, we all gonna make it. But this is
I trust the team.
The reason that I think Heist will do well is because we're one of the only playable games on Solana, and it's just fun to pass the time. Like, you can still be trading SWE, but still be playing Heist, and that's that's one of the dynamics that I like. I breathe in, breathe out, ship some features, ship some syncs, ship some mother licking syncs. Holy shit, we need syncs, and we have all the plans. We just need to deliver them. Once syncs come in, then Nana becomes a commodity. And everybody's like, oh shit, the only way you can get it is by playing the Heist. And I need NFTs for that. And then, everything's back to normal in the world. So not really rocket science. Let's jump into SWE though. That's what this whole show should be about, because we got a whole 2 weeks plus of going into SWE. Guys, are you ready for mainnet tomorrow? Do you have your SWE wallet set up or anything like that? Dora, I know you're not really messing with it. So Dora's going to be very inactive this segment, I am sure. Joe, have you set up your SWE wallet yet?
Yeah, I've had it for a while. I've been farming testnet tokens for a while from the faucet, and I staked as well, just to try out and get used to the actual interface. It's actually not a bad wallet UI UX. I'm using Ethos. So yeah, I have FUDdies. So I'm definitely, what my plan is to do is to mint FUDdies, obviously. So I'm gonna get on KuCoin tomorrow. Not right away. This is the thing, guys. Like, so you got to understand, in order to catch this hype, right? You had to have the pre-sale allocation. You'll get it at whatever the 3 cents, whatever the cost is. I think it's 3 cents for them. There's going to be initial spike, right? There'll be that 5x, 10x, maybe 15x, right? But then that'll be the retracement. That's where you kind of want to enter if you weren't in the Telegram or weren't in all your extra stuff, right? For me, I'm not looking at trading the actual token. I'm just going to grab a bunch so I can mint and flip on the NFT side and then dump the tokens back to Sol. Or maybe, everything goes well. It's actually more, strategic, and actually the infrastructure is a lot smoother than I think. And then I'll hold some tokens. But my mind is I didn't get into the pre-allocation, so it's going to be hard for me to trade it for a multiple, especially with spot, right, on KuCoin or buyback. It's very hard to kind of catch that multiple. So yeah, I'm gonna try to catch the value prop on the NFT side, because that's kind of our niche, right? So that's my idea with SWE coming up here.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen with it too. Is that we are going to see a nice run up. if you got into pre-allocation, first off, I hate you because I missed the deadline to. I wasn't in Discord. And I'm so upset. That was the metric that we went off of. Discord? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
That's kind of ridiculous.
You're joking. You're joking. I'm gonna go off on a tangent, dude. I'm tired of joining Discords. I'm tired of joining servers. I didn't want to join another one. And that's how you decided the allocation. Are you fucking joking me? Whatever. Give it to VCs, not these wee-woos who are like, oh, I'm curious about joining the Discord and stuff. They're going to be the people who are like, win. They're going to be trading for 2 cents on like flips and everything like that. We're giving these people the power. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, ran over. Yeah, if you got into pre-allocation, great. If not, I'm waiting for any sort of retracement I see on the token. Then I grab the token. If I don't have allow list for things, I'm not jumping in them. If I have allow list for stuff and I think it's good, I'm jumping in. And of course, I got FUD list, so I'm jumping into FUDdies. That will definitely be my foray. And I cannot remember where I heard it. I think it was on No Fluff. But we talked about how if you look at every single one of these chains, there was, I don't even know it was on Canto because I didn't jump into that at all. It was so hard to get money over to Canto. So hard. It was like I didn't even want to deal with the headache. But you made a ton of money over there.
Oh, yeah.
Near had
dude, I cooked on Near, dog.
Yeah, well, yeah, antisocial
8 club, baby.
Yeah, that's so but we had that. We had Aptos Mingos if you were over on Aptos. And then I think FUDdies is going to be the one on this
FUDdies
one.
Going to be the one.
That absolutely cooks. 1, 2, that not only cooks, but the real value is going to be you are going to be the inside track for the rest of these projects. We saw with Aptos Mingos, we're the one who got that allow list for everything over in Aptos. You saw over on Antisocial 8 Club. Yeah, they're the ones who got near list for every single one of those projects over there. There will be a project. So if you're going to spend anything, or if you're going to chase FOMO on anything, and this is not financial advice, do your own research, but I think the monetary value you will get from these allow lists, and if FUDdies is going to be that project, which I believe it will be, then that will pay its weight in gold. Whatever money you pay to go into FUDdies, if you don't have FUDdies, will probably pay for itself. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This is so not financial advice because this is such a risky market. But this is my thought process is if this is what allows me to get whitelists for all these other projects and I can just cook on those, bro, I don't even care how much I have to pay for it. If I can get in on a 2-week gold rush and I get a mint pass for everything, okay, let's go.
How big is the FUDdies collection size? What is it opening up at USD value? And because like I might honestly scoop up.
No mint price yet, Door.
Yep.
I'm not sure about. I think 10,000 supply.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one thing. So there's a couple of other projects that I think will do well. And the reason because that number right there, that was the one thing I was going to bring up is the collection size. 10,000 is a lot for a brand new chain. It is a lot. There are some other projects out there that I think will do better because they have lower supply.
Yeah.
Wizardland is one of them. So Wizardland SWE, if you want to go follow the Twitter, is 2,222. That is a really good collection size. I like that number a lot. If I can get whitelist for that, that is great. Now, the one thing I will say is that they have 161,000 followers on Twitter. That is botted to shit. There is no shot. That scares me. If I see botted followers, oh, that's a red flag for me. But I like the low supply size. I like that it is hyped outside of their botted followers. Like a lot of people are looking into it. But yeah, have you got, Joe, do you have whitelist for that or anything?
For which one?
Wizardland?
No, I do not.
Yeah, we need to get that. I need to see if we can get that. We need to get that big time because 2,222, that's a good collection. Like Dor said, I mean, Dor's very astute. That's exactly what I was thinking when I looked at FUDdies. I was like, because you're also going to have to compete with 10,000 other NFTs or whatever to get. It's not just the liquidity for it. Like, is there enough supply for it, or is there enough demand for 10,000 collection over there? It's a brand new blockchain. I'm not sure. I would think so off the first few days, but that's also one of the reasons I'm like, if I don't see enough whitelist opportunities, I sell. I immediately sell. I don't want any part of it. I'll go back to it once it retraces. That's fine. But a 10K collection on a brand new chain.
I think that's why ASIC did well. Like it had like super low supply. I think it was like 4,000 or something. And having a low supply on a brand new chain makes it easier for price to move. 10,000 collection on a new chain, man, that's a lot, dude. And like a lot of these rotations you recognize, it's mostly Solana. But like I know in the near rotation, it was Solana people. And in the app, I think the Aptos rotation, it was mostly Solana's people as well. So I wonder if SWE will be able to pull in that ETH liquidity into the chain to participate in it as well.
Yeah, and that's I do think there will be some Ethereum players as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll just be them. I also think there's going to be a lot of Aptos people. So anybody stuck on Aptos still will be over there because it is Move, it is a language. And the one thing that appeals to me about SWE is that they're rolling out with so much more infrastructure than Aptos ever did. Like Aptos marketplace sucked. They will have marketplaces in SWE that are already going to be very accessible. So I do think there's some legitimacy over there. The other one I will say that I'm looking for, and I'm trying to play this like do sort of thing. This is now in between 10K and 2,222 is Slimes with a Z at the end of it. And you can find the Twitter is Slimes SWE. This is a 5,000 collection. So a little bit more palatable than 10K, still a little too high for me. Like on a new chain, the lower the supply, the better. Because you can just absolutely FOMO that like crazy after that first week or so. So this is going to be a very PvP market. I just want to like emphasize that to the max. Like all of these projects I listed, I am getting in and I am getting out. If I find whitelist opportunities in any of these projects, I will have more of a predilection to stay at least for 2 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks, depending on how long this gold rush lasts. And I'm done. I'm done. I go back to Solana, and then June rolls around, July rolls around. I think we have enough projects on the horizon. But that's the game plan. That's literally it, down to a T.
Even though your boy's not participating in SWE or likely not to participate, I'm going to let y'all know a word of advice. This ain't no long-term stuff, right? Don't get caught like you're going to, once euphoria hits, you're going to hear people, SWE's the next Solana. The community vibes are different. Of course they're different. Everything's pumping. The prices, the community vibes are always positive when the price is pumping. So don't get caught up in the trap of thinking this thing is going to go to the moon forever and we're going to be the new paradigm and everything's going to be all honky-dory from here on out. No, get in there, make your bag, rotate out. That's all you need to be focused on. Try to get out at the top or as close to the top as possible and move on. And guess what? If these things are around in 3 months, then buy back in lower. But do not get caught up in the trap of bag holding.
Yeah, 100%. Joe, is there anything else over on SWE that you're like, yeah, I want to go into this, or because there's a few other projects on my radar. I haven't had the time with Heist to like sit down and deep dive into a lot of these projects. But is there anything else on your radar over there?
There's a few. There's Bulls versus Bears, which caught my eye just from the sneak peek of the art. Just looks pretty wild. There's a few more. There was FADA, which is like pretty decent art, but like even cooler merch. So it's like I understand we're kind of reversing and moving back in time, but that's basically what we're doing when you start up a new chain to trade NFTs. It's going to be the same things that were hyped in the beginning a year ago for us is going to be what kicks them. So we have the marketplace and infrastructure to actually support. I'm just nervous that like if the launch pads and stuff don't work correctly and like things could go bad very quickly for them. So if they're on it, they can capitalize hard. We can make a lot of money. If they're not on it, I think people will slowly say fuck that and roll back into Sol. So, but yeah, there's FADA, there's Bulls versus Bears. What else was I looking at? Oh, this one right here. Yeah, Survivors, and then Chi-Chi, which is like I don't even know, and Foxbite. Foxbite was another one that looked pretty good. So those are the ones my eyes are on, other than the ones you said already. B.
Yeah, Sahu saying Gummies. I agree with that one as well. That was another one that was catching my eye. There's going to be a lot of plays. And even if you don't get whitelist, I think there will be like, if you get in early enough, it's one of those that you don't get in at the best possible price. And I'm not saying FOMO everything, but if it has enough hype and stuff, you could just like instant buy, sell for 2x, walk away, still get the dub. I just like the one thing I will always emphasize, of course, this is not financial advice, but like get in and get out. No survivors. Cut your losses quick. Take your gains when you can and let it all fly. This is a very risky market. We've seen it on Kanto. We've seen it on Aptos. We've seen it on Near. Sui will be no different. I think the longevity of Sui will be there, but how it's going to go, if I could literally draw a chart, is it goes straight up, then it dips back down, and then depending on the longevity of the chain, it'll kind of like come back up to the median right here, right? I think it will come back up to the median. But it goes up real quick. It goes down real quick. Be careful. Be careful, please. So thinking about does it for Sui. Guys, I don't know what else to talk about. I think we might have wrapped up the show early, and I'm totally fine with that. Everybody good with that?
I think I'm good with that, dog. I mean, no point in forcing something that ain't there. I think we did a good job covering everything efficiently. You know, market's kind of chill episode of RareFUD for me. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah, I will take a shorter episode. I know Joe needs the recovery. We need to get back to work, on so many other things. Oh my goodness, we got high stuff cooking. So, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into an episode of RareFUD Radio. The shortest one ever. I'm pretty sure this is the shortest one on record outside the last one, which was cut short forcibly. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of RareFUD Radio. We are on every single Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also upload the episode to Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly after the episode. I've been slacking lately. I am sorry for that. They are getting uploaded today. The first thing I'm doing right now is I'm downloading the recording and putting it on there. If you guys haven't, please make sure to go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're dropping that subscribe button. If you're going over to the podcast platform, give us a follow, give us a review, do everything possible to grow this show, please. That's all we ask from you guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next episode of RareFUD Radio. Have a wonderful day.